Good morning, welcome to the foggy tropics. As you can see outside my window, everything's a little bit white down here in the valley. Get out the highway, it'll be hopefully a bit sunnier. I thought I'd make a little video about attack and defence. People like to say so-and-so's attacking me, or or I'm not defending myself. There's a thing in spirituality where we all like to be vulnerable. And it's like, that's such a lot of horse shit. But I thought I'd make this video anyway. So vulnerability, really, or open-mindedness, is simply allowing everything that comes to you to be for you. And the reason you would do that is so you can have an experience of self, so you no longer need to walk the world in fear. And that experience of self, of course, you can call it enlightenment, salvation, nirvana, whatever you want to term it as, doesn't matter. It's a non-physical experience, transcendental if you want to call it that, but it's not really transcendental, because to transcend something implies that there's something to be transcended in the first place. And the true spiritual nature of things is that there is no world and no universe, not even now, and I'm not even making this video, which is a bit of a head fuck, but the experience will show you what's true, and then you'll realise that nothing else is true and nothing else matters. So learning not to defend myself against things, even in the task of and this happens a lot with students, so you'll realise when you reach a certain point of maturity in your spiritual prowess or spiritual accomplishment, you'll realise that other people, let's say, and in the true sense other people, come to you for help with things. People will just gravitate to you or be sent to you for help. And then you will get to see those persons, if they are closely related students or people you see regularly, you'll get to see them go through the machinations of their transformation as you offer them what was offered to you. And A Course in Miracles was offered to me 20 odd years ago. And I've had many students since then, some living in the house with me, and others sort of in a nearby environment, and others doing sessions 3 days a week, 4 days a week, all that sort of thing. So you reach these ring pass knots, or these points of personal confrontation, where you realise that something has to change within you. One of those things is defence, and of course attack is the other side of the coin of that. And I get all the time people say I'm not defending myself, which of course in itself is a defence. When you try to present them with things, now the idea that I would try to present somebody with the next step or the next level or the next whatever it is in their evolution is paramount to progress. Right? If you have a teacher, whether it be you've made a firm connection with your own internal teacher, or you have an external teacher such as me or somebody else teaching you a specific thing at a certain time, if you're not willing to take on board what they're saying and allow it fully in, there's no point having that teacher. So, and I also get people saying, well, I wish you would teach me in a less confronting way, or a gentler way. I learn better if it's like, no, fuck that. You get it how it's given, and however it comes is meant to be that way. It's meant to push that button. It's meant to show you where that block is. So, but of course you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And one of the common retorts I get is, it's like, well, I'm only showing you something about yourself. It's like, go fuck yourself. Do you go to the doctor and ask for a prescription or ask for help, and then when he gives it to you, you say to him, oh man, you need this prescription, this is really for you? It's like, come on, snap out of it. So, attack and defense. The idea that somebody would attack you is wrong. There is no such thing as attack, and I know that sounds completely balls up in a world of pain, suffering and death, wherein you look at the newspaper or the television and what's going on social media, and people seem to be getting murdered, and wars and rape and all sorts of crazy shit. And it's like, to understand, and this is where the experience comes in, you have to have this experience, to understand the nature and have the shift in consciousness that will allow you to perceive differently and therefore react differently and get the results of your thinking differently. You have to understand that through that experience you'll be shown that the world is an illusion, that this is just molecules and bits of idea, I don't know how to put it, bits of nothing floating around in space that my mind is telling me is real and looks like something happening to me, which is the journey I've chosen, using the power of the mind of God to make it seem real. But the unraveling, of course, the rabbit hole, how far down the rabbit hole you want to go, is up to you. I can show you where it starts, I can go with you most of the way, but when you reach the end, where the void is, or where the emptiness is, or where that moment of terror is, you're on your own. You have to cross that threshold, if you like, or enter that event horizon, go over that event horizon by yourself. When you do that, the whole world goes with you. But the idea that someone's attacking me, it's like, well, no, not really. That person, situation or event, whatever, is giving you an opportunity to look at where I'm at in my mind. So it's like, wow, that person's attacking me. It's like, let me see where I'm at in my mind. How could I possibly feel that I was being attacked unless I had an idea of there being something other than love in the universe? Now, in this world, love plays out as all sorts of things. Two fellas going to war, a Turkish bloke and an Australian bloke on the field at Gallipoli, fighting each other. That's a lesson in love. We'll look at that and we'll say, well, that's war, that's terrible, that shouldn't be happening, blah, blah, blah. Well, no, there's better ways for that, for those ideas to be resolved. There's better ways for conflict to be resolved than to pick up a gun and charge at each other. But in the very low frequency, if you like, of understanding and learning, people will do that. And many people have returned from war completely shell-shocked and broken inside and questioning life, the universe and everything, and have found a pathway to God. Many, many people. And of course many more have died to be born again. So, and I don't know if I'll post this video up because it's going to be over my 7-minute limit, I think, from Facebook. But one of the things about attack and defense is, it's like, I only ever attack myself. If the universe is a reflection of my own thinking and I manifest the situations that come to me so I can learn that I'm not separate from love in the extreme or in the mild, then as hard as that bitter pill is going to be to swallow, and the death of a loved one is probably about as bitter as it's going to get here, then I've forgotten where I was going with that, but then I have to look at it as myself. It's like, wow, there's a lesson here in everything for me. And I recall the situation of a couple of dear friends of mine whose son was murdered by their babysitter. He was 18 months old, brutally murdered. And the pain and anguish that they and the community are going through. And it's impossible for anyone in a situation where your mind is shielded with that emotional content, it's impossible for me or anyone to be able to put forth the idea that their son was playing a part for them and chose to play that part for them since before time began. Like the orchestration of our lives is like a beautiful play, and some of us, because of our strength, can play the parts that are so painful to help jolt or get others to question their reality and question the world and why are things like this. And it's one of those situations. I remember the passing of my cousin who was 15 from cystic fibrosis, and every day of her life was a struggle. Every day of her life her chest and back were pounded by my uncle to break up the phlegm, and she spent endless months and years in hospital, and then finally just to die. And that, I think, you know, I'm getting a bit emotional now still, but I loved her so dearly. And then not long after that, when she passed, my dad took me to this thing called Insight, which I guess was really right back at the beginning of my spiritual path, this 3-day thing, and she came to me in a vision, very clear vision, and it was nothing to do with her, the workshop thing we were doing at the time, but she appeared to me in overalls and a pink shirt that she would have normally wore, and she was smiling. I knew she was fine. I knew she wasn't dead. I knew that all that suffering that she went through, those 16 years of fucking suffering, was for me. It was a gift. She played a part for me to get me to question life and seek for answers. And I didn't waste that gift. Anyway, brought up a bit of stuff, that memory. Thank you. Anyway, so, well, that'll do anyway, but attack and defense. I'm never attacked unless I attack myself. I've set up my own situations, my own manifestations of physicality that present me with the ideas that I can be attacked or am attacked. And if I defend myself, I am attacked. I perceive attack in my mind. So what is there to defend against if everything is love? What can attack me if everything is a lesson in love? It's like, what do I think? I'm a body? I think I can suffer? I think I'm going to die? Death is impossible. There is no death. Well, I love you. It takes a lot to remember it all, I tell you, and it takes a lot to teach it. And if you need a teacher, I guess I'm as good as any, and if you need a student, I'm all ears. All right, well, I love you. Take it easy.